Continue with that slow breath count. In for 4, out for 8. Nice. And then we're going to find a little bit of movement here. So on your inhale, reach your arms up overhead. And as you exhale, super slow, just bring them back down. Like you're making snow angels and all this snow that we got going on. Or the water that you got going on. Water angels. Inhale for 4. Exhale for 8. And inhale for 4. This time on the exhale, we're going to lean over to the right. So right hand down, left arm up and over. Big 8 count out. Press a little into the ground so you feel this stretch on the left side up into the shoulders. Okay, breathe in. You want to play around with the direction of how you're holding your head or just find little movements. That's great too. And then exhale out for 8. Okay, take another breath here. We'll stay here for the exhale. Good. Inhale through center, arms reach up high. Exhale, drop it over to the left. Good. Right arm up and over. Okay, maybe find some movements. Breathe in. And breathe out. Maybe you can move your head if you like. Take another breath in. Wait for the exhale. Good, and then inhale back up to center. And as you exhale, we'll twist. So left hand to right knee, right hand just somewhere behind you for a nice tall twist. Lift up tall through the crown of your head. Gently move from the middle part of your back towards the back wall. And breathe out. Okay, breathe in. Stay for the exhale. And on your inhale here, you're going to keep your left hand on your right knee and then reach your right arm up and overhead like you're in a twist and a side bend at the same time. So as an exhale as you reach. Good. Yeah, that's it, everybody. Breathe in. And breathe out. One more time like that. Breathe in. And breathe out. Okay, come back up to center, so arms reach up towards the ceiling. And then exhale, twist left. Go right hand to left knee, left hand lands behind you. Okay, take a slow breath in. Sitting up really tall through the crown of your head on the exhale. Remember, it's mostly like rib cage, middle part of the spine, twisting it back behind you. Okay, breathe in. And breathe out. Good. This inhale, left arm comes up and over. We've got our twist and a side bend. Perfect. Then breathe in. And exhale. Nice. Take one more breath in here. Stay for the exhale. Nice. And then both arms reach back up. Reach really tall. Breathe in. And as you exhale here, we'll come into a tabletop. You might roll over your ankles. You can always roll to one side and then come up to tabletop. So you inhale, we'll go drop your belly, gaze forward here to start. So it's only a 4 count in. Nice elongated exhale as you round chin to chest, open up through the shoulders. Inhale, drop and gaze forward. Exhale and round. So one more time, inhale, drop and gaze forward. Exhale and round. Nice, and then back to tabletop, we're gonna come into puppy pose here first. Option for cliffhanger, if you wanna go against the wall or a sofa, feel free to head over. I'll show you that variation in a second. For puppy pose, you'll have your hips stay over your knees and reach your arms out in front of you. Forehead can come to the floor. You might put a block underneath your chest, or you might also put a block, 2 blocks of block on each arm underneath your elbows. Just different ways to play around with the positioning of that pose. Nice. Good. So remember, staying with your nice, slow breath. So we're in for 4 and out for 8. Trying to breathe slowly. And then finding that wet noodle principle. So that feeling of your body being a wet noodle. Like, are there places where you're holding tension where you can release some of that tension? You can relax a little bit more. Good. So if you're here in this big shoulder stretch, remember that we're maybe come into like a 5 out of 10 for our shoulders. As always, right? The least stable the joint, the less intensity you want to go to. So just check in real quick. If you feel like you're at your very end range of motion, you just want to come out of it slightly. So you're not stressing your joints too much, especially in a long hold. Nice slow breathing combined with a relaxed wet noodle body, helping to relax your nervous system, helping to overcome that stretch reflex, and allowing us to get into the fascia, the areas of the body that are nice and tight that we can loosen up, and that'll give us more mobility and flexibility. So we get nice and relaxed and we get more open, all at the same time. Just got about 30 more seconds here. Keep going nice and slow, breath in for 4 and out for 8. So one more time, nice slow breath in for 4. Exhale for 8. Nice. And then carefully coming back up and out of your pose. So start to bend at the elbows. Maybe you come through a tabletop. And then maybe up to a seat, and then find some movement for your arms. Maybe it's a couple of circles. You might take hands to shoulders and just circle with the elbows for a little less, or maybe full arms. So that's a pretty big, upper back bend feeling. It can also feel nice to take a counter compression pose here. So if you take an embryo for a moment, that might feel really nice. So hands into the edges of your hands and your hip creases. We'll bend the elbows and let your head fall forward over your legs at the same time. Let the elbows flop. Perfect. So let's hold this one just for about a minute or so to counter that. A nice slow breath in. 8 count, exhale, back out. Good, breathe in. And breathe out. It's so good, you guys. Just a few more breaths here. Again, that nice counter stretch, just opening through the upper back. Yeah, one more time. Breathe in. Exhale for 8. Nice. And slowly come back up. Ooh, and then circle it up. Nice. Ooh. All right, got a little shoulder juice going on. Let's jump into that calf stretch. The cats are going crazy again tonight. I know this happened yesterday during class, although I don't know if you saw that, Christine, so much. Bowser's just about to jump up and knock the camera off the table, so if something happens, that's what happened. Okay, so this one starts with your leg straight, and then let's pick up your right leg. We'll cross your foot over to the left side. And then this one, it's pretty important if you want the calf stretch to get your knees to stack. So left leg pushes down, and then toes flex in towards you a bit. You could, I know, Christine, you're gonna grab your foot, but you could also, if you can't quite reach your foot, now that I'm set up, you could grab your strap as well and hook it around your foot just to give you a little bit more, if you like. You could also do that wrap so you don't necessarily have to hold it so much, just a way to kind of cheat there. So you're stacking right knee on top of the left as close as you can get. And then you give a little lean forward, and that should get into the calf. Ooh, Jason found it. If it's challenging to get your knees to stack, some height underneath the hips can help. So if you sit up on a block or a blanket, and for some people, like, that stacking just isn't quite going to work for you. So if that's you, maybe you sit here and you're hugging your knee in instead, and you'll get a different stretch into the top leg, but it'll still be a nice stretch, just an alternative. So here we have a straight left leg, crossed right knee over the left, and then a gentle lean forward. Nice and slow. In for 4. And out for 8. And notice your shoulders, just stretch them out, try to keep them nice and relaxed. Nice. And then the more you're able to fold over the front leg, the more pressure you're going to get into your calf. I've got a little hip thing going on, so I'm not going to do that to aggravate it. But if that's where you're wanting to go, just keep leaning over towards that leg. Eventually, some of you might be able to get your chest or your belly onto the top leg even. Just keep leaning. Good. So down here, these bigger joints, maybe a 7 out of 10, a little more intensity if you want it. Do pay special attention to your knees. Make sure they're feeling okay. Check in with that bottom one. It is a fair possibility to hyperextend the left knee. So if that's something you're prone to, that's something I'm prone to. I'll often just throw my hand underneath my knee because then I don't have to get up. But if you've got like a washcloth or a small towel or something underneath your knee, that can be really helpful. Okay, we're almost there, you guys. Take another slow breath in and back out. One more time. Breathe in and breathe out. Nice. All right. If you got that strap, we'll just take it off, set it to the side. You'll need it to keep it close. And then maybe a windshield wiper might feel good after that little movement through the hips. Also might feel really nice to stretch both legs out and just reach for your toes, especially stretching out the top leg. And then we'll head to the other side. So right leg's on the bottom, left leg, right? You bend the knee, you cross your foot over, and then stack your knees. And if there's something you wanted on the other side that you didn't have, before you get real deep into this, that's the perfect time to pause, get up and grab something if you need it. And if you're good, we'll cross your strap over your foot. And then see if you can find that calf stretch on this side. I'm just gonna roll up my socks and put underneath my knee. Ooh. Some great faces going on, you guys. Like we're feeling this one. This strap is super useful. Get really into that. Remember, about 7 or so out of 10, leaning towards the top leg is going to give you more intensity. But make sure that you stay aware of what's happening in your shoulders. Try to stay as relaxed there as you can. A halfway point here, good time to check in with the intensity of your stretch. If you want to make any adjustments, notice if you've lost that breath, jump back in. Notice if your shoulders made their way up to your ears, clenching at your jaw. Almost there, just a few more breaths to go. Nice full breath in and back out. One more time, breathe in for 4. Breathe out for 8. Slowly release. We'll set the strap off to the side, and we'll take a couple of counter moves. Again, windshield wipers might feel nice as well to straighten the leg and reach for your toes. All right. Let's come down into our bellies, and we'll come into a wing pose next. We'll head back up to the shoulders for a stretch. So lay on your belly. And we're going to do this one with your elbow bent so that you get more into your pecs, which also means you won't go as far as you roll to the side. You also might want a blanket or a pillow or something underneath your head. So come onto your belly. We're going to take right arm and place it like a half of a goalpost to the right side. Fingertips come straight forward. Left hand is going to gently roll you over towards your right side. And then with your knees, so I will usually bend my knees a bit and stack them. Some people who are pretty flexible can put their left foot on the floor. That's a pretty tall order for most people with the elbow bent. Usually that's a straight arm stretch thing. You could also put a block between your knees if that feels better for your head. Definitely feels better. Everybody got this? Give me a quick thumbs up if you're good to go. Yeah, okay, cool. Mary Beth, you okay down there? Yeah. I can only see you from like your belly up, but the lower half of you looks right. So you got half a goalpost on the right side. Yeah. I don't know if you can see Jason's arm, so he's got his elbow straight out from his shoulder and then fingers go straight forward from the elbow. So it's about 90 degrees you're looking for in your right elbow. You should feel it in the pec on the right side and maybe your bicep. Yep. Did you say yep or no? Okay. Perfect. Good, so we're back to shoulders, so a little less intensity is best, you guys. So maybe about halfway at most. Do not press into your end range here. Sometimes it is helpful to find it and then come back out so you know where you're at. And then if you feel like you need your left hand pressing into the floor to keep getting you that stretch, it's okay to leave it there, but if you feel like you don't really need it, you can relax it as well. So like Jason's putting it behind his back. I just sort of let mine lay on the ground so I get a little bit of tension from the elbow, just sort of pressing into my mat, kind of keeping me in place. But I don't necessarily need to continue to push in that direction, especially for that like 5 out of 10 stretch. But it might be different for everybody. So we'll keep it kind of a shorter hold as we come back into the shoulders. Okay, breathing nice and slow in for 4. Out for 8. About a minute left here. Go one more time, breathe in for 4. Breathe out for 8. Good job. And then we'll slowly make our way back through middle. So a few options. I really like here if you roll over to the left side and then circle out this right arm. And just elbow Jason right in the face. Sorry. Sometimes I forget I'm not alone in this class here. So that can be nice if you feel like you want to sit up and get more of a circle stretch feeling in that direction, you can do that. Good, everybody's looking pretty good here. Whew. All right, and then we're going to try this out on the other side. So come back to your belly. Probably need to move your pillow around or whatever you got going on here. Left elbow is going to find that cactus or goalpost shape just on the left side. Right hand to the floor to help roll you over. And then you'll bend your knees. I like a block between my knees for a little support for the hips. Yeah, looking good. We all got this. Thanks. Also hearing lots of groans, so sounds like this is the right thing for us to be doing right now.
That's gross. Is he licking your toes?
Okay. Sticking his nose between my toes. About halfway there, guys. It's time to check in with that intensity. Remember, we're only about halfway, 5 out of 10. Keep it still fairly gentle. Get a nice big stretch in your pecs, biceps. Remember, right hand can stay on the floor or you can drop it. You can find a different position for the right arm that feels fine. Let's take one more slow breath in. 8, count, exhale, back out. Nice. And then we'll roll over to the right side and circle out this left arm. Oh, feels awesome. Nice face.
That's not what I was thinking.
Good. Nice, good pec stretch.
Oh,
You're really opening up the tight spaces in the shoulders tonight. Ooh, from here, we're going to come into a prone butterfly. This is the butterfly that we do with the strap. So carefully make your way back up to a seat. We're going to make your way back onto your belly. So we'll sort of be there in a moment, but you got to tie yourself up first. So you're going to strap behind your back. And then you've got to have the metal bit on one side, right? Like where the hook or the clip or whatever you got. And then you'll bring the other side underneath your feet. So you're underneath your feet. So we're over here. I'm just kind of like in line with my knee. I put the strap through both of your hooks. Now, if you've got a double hook, like most of the straps are, you'll skip the first hook and go back through the second to get it locked in place. And then you want to move the hard part, so it's in that empty space kind of next in line with your knee, so that you don't land on it. That doesn't feel good. And then for this stretch, we usually want a good amount of space. So oftentimes in a butterfly, you'll pull your feet in really close to you. For this particular stretch, we want the feet farther away. So if you think in terms of fists, like if my fist is at my pelvis, I usually walk it out a good 5 to 6 fists out. This is going to be different for everybody's bodies. I don't have as much movement in my hips, so I need mine farther out. You might need yours less far. We'll find out once you flip over. So what you do is you turn to your side, roll onto one side, and then roll onto your belly. And you're going to land with your feet up, and you're going to situate your knees just like you were in a butterfly pose, but now you're on your belly. Right? So your knees are open, and your soles of your feet are together. And you want your feet to be in the air, but past your knees. Mary Beth, you need more slack. You don't have any more slack. Shoot. Yeah. You've got a really short strap. That's also part of that. Yep. Good call. That's it. That may not work for you. So you don't have any more slack, like here in your strap? No. All the way up. How are you feeling right now? Do you feel a stretch? You should feel something here. Or in your inner thigh. Yep, knees open wide. Yep.
yeah, that was like,
You might be better served rolling onto your back and doing just a reclined butterfly. I don't think you're going to get the butterfly stretch like that. Now, how do you get back up, huh? Oh, you got it. Nice. Good job. Just like that. Yeah, exactly like that. And your feet can be close in for that stretch. That doesn't matter. So whatever positioning feels good for your feet there works just fine. All right, so we've all found something that feels good. So we'll take a nice long hold here again. Nice slow breath. In for 4, and out for 8. Feeling a nice opening to the hips, be in the groin, your inner thighs. And just every so often, maybe checking in, bringing the knees wider apart. If you're on your belly, wiggling the knees up. If you're on your back, just letting the knees fall farther open. Also, if you're on your back and you want to put blocks underneath your knees for a little simulating breaks, so you're not quite at the end all the time, that's all right as well. Can be helpful. And then in for 4, and out for 8. Take one more slow breath in here. And slow exhale. And if you're on your belly, you'll slowly start to bring your heels in towards you and wiggle your feet until the strap comes off your feet. If you are on your back, generally closing your legs together and leaning to one side. And then we'll carefully make your way back up to a seat. Ooh, we'll get rid of the strap. Nice. And then usually windshield wipers feel really nice after that. So we'll sit back down and then take your knees side to side a few times. Nice. Nice. And if you're on your back, feel free to stay there. From here, we're going to make our way into a tantrum and meditation. So if there's anything you want to gather around you to have within reach, meditation, I'll give you just a few moments here to grab whatever you like. Dim your lights a little bit.
He's like as quick as close as he can get to the fire.
The kitty is as close as he can possibly get.
Oh, they probably can't even tell.
He's black though, so he blends in. I'm not sure you can see it.
He's touching the fireplace.
Such a heat seeker. He's definitely my cat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
All right, we gotta throw a quick tantrum. So everybody lay down on your backs. And then bring your legs in the air and your arms in the air and then kick and flail. Go, 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 go. Hey, it's here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release. Nice. And then take your time getting set up here for your meditation. Tonight's meditation is called Inner Wisdom. It is by Jeff Warren. Tonight we'll be exploring how to brighten the light of our own internal wisdom. To start, find a comfortable position and rest your hand. Gently close your eyes. Lengthen your back. Lengthen your spine so your back is nice and tall. Make sure that you feel relaxed. Soften your eyes, forehead, and temples. Let any tension in the mouth and jaw melt away. And then extend that relaxed sensation down through your neck, shoulders, arms, and torso. And now focus your attention on your chest, filling your lungs up with air, and then letting go, letting go, letting go. Just hold your attention on your breath, your natural breath. Breathing in And sighing the breath out slowly. Notice your ribs and lungs expand as you breathe in. Feel them releasing and settling as you breathe out. Feel your rib cage spreading out and widening on the inhales. And then softening, almost melting on the exhales. And if you like, you can try to count the breath. So breathe all the way in and all the way out, and count 1. And then breathe all the way in and all the way out, and count 2. And count all the way up to 10, and start again. Distractions will likely pull on your attention. Don't worry when this happens. Each time you notice you're pulled away from the breath, notice the pull and simply come back. No judgments, no frustrations. Simply return to the sensation of the breath. Breathe all the way in and all the way out. And count 1. Breathe all the way in, all the way out. Now gently relax your attention. Feel yourself centered. A few weeks ago, I listened to a Dharma talk by a meditation instructor named Stephen Smith. He shared this story of a friend of his named Malidoma Soma from West Africa, and I'd like to recount that story now. Malidoma Soma was born in a tribal village, yet ended up pursuing a distinguished education far away at Oxford and later Harvard. As he grew older, he began to struggle in his life because he didn't really know who he was or where he came from. So one day, he had the idea to go back and explore his ancestry and his roots. He packed his bags and flew back to West Africa, where he arrived in his tribal village. The elders welcomed him back and took him in so he could explore his lineage. It was a struggle at first because he had totally lost that connection. In the evening, he would sit with the elders in the near darkness, trying to receive their teaching. He would keep on turning up his lantern to see better. He kept turning it up, and one night, one of the elders asked him, "Why are you turning up that lantern?" He responded by saying, "So I can see better." And the elder explains that turning up the light doesn't always help us see better, because often we see what we want to see, or what we feel pressured to see. Sometimes we actually need to dim the lights down so we can turn our attention inward, into the silence, away from the brightness of concept, stimulus, and towards the soft, dim internal light where truth can be found. The week after hearing the story, I headed off to a silent meditation retreat. The rules and customs of these retreats are taken very seriously. There is no conversation or technology, no interacting with other people whatsoever. We walk in silence, we eat alone, and we meditate for hours. The rooms are simple and there are no books or screens to occupy our attention. All of this supports our work of going inward. We experience this rare opportunity to sit within ourselves and really listen. And it's here that I learn the most about myself. My beliefs and patterns and ego become magnified. I gain deeper clarity into what I need to let go of and what I need to step into. And it's also here that my most innovative ideas are born. So, as Ram Dass said, the quieter you become, the more you can hear. So, my invitation today is this. On those days when clarity evades you, in those moments when the noise of life feels amplified, when you're straining your attention and frustration, look outward for answers. Instead of turning up the lantern, find yourself a seat and dim the lights. Breathe, go inward, and just listen. Now, when you're ready, begin to wiggle your fingers and toes. Bring your attention back to the room. Open your eyes. Begin to bring your hands back together at your heart. The light in me honors, bows, and surrenders to the light within each of you. Namaste.